So let me recap what this lady, Princess, this young lady, Princess, said, and every other loan app agent that have been coming to my DM asking me all sort of nonsense questions. So she said, am I asking people to borrow and not pay back? Certainly not. That's not what we stand for here. Our motto is very simple and straightforward. Stop borrowing from loan apps and stop paying loan apps. And the last one that we've just added is know your rights as a borrower. Many people are in their cobwebs, not because of anything, but because they don't know their rights. That is where the problem is coming from. So are we saying, so does that mean all loan apps are bad? Not at all. In fact, the problem is 96% of them are crazy. They are criminals. We can only count maybe about 4 or 5, maybe Carbon Branch, Isla, those ones, they still follow, in a way, best practices. They will not defame you, they will not do anything. Everybody, if you are owing any of those loan apps, just create a repayment plan and pay them off. But the rest, if you are owing any one of them, they will multiply your debts. They will multiply your debt. If you are owing 100,000 naira, at the end of it all, you'll be paying nothing less than 300,000 naira. They will mess up everything about your life. They will encourage you to go and borrow money. That's evil. That's evil. That's demonic. So that is just it. They are all, many of them. Currently in Nigeria, we have about 1,200 loan apps. That means Mumu Nigerians are paying them back. That's the problem. So, okay, so someone is asking, how do I know if loan app will defame me? As in, how do I know them? The loan app that are good, as in loan app that are good, they have to follow CBN policy or fair lending practices, FCCPC policy. They have to follow it. We have to make sure that we force them to follow that law. Not that they can create anything anyhow. They have to be under CBN. They cannot be doing anyhow. They cannot charge beyond certain threshold. CBN policy, monetary policy rate is 27%. You cannot 27% per year. You cannot use your own discretion and say, hey, I want to start charging 250% per year. That is criminal. That is extortion. Because that's why they can't sue anybody to court. Anybody. So the next question is, how do I know loan apps that I should stop borrowing from? That I should stop paying. Any loan apps that harass you, any loan apps whatsoever, whether they are CBN license or they are criminals, any harassment in any form, sending all sort of messages to you personally. If you pay that bond, you'll be mumu. Tell them you're not going to pay that money again. It's as simple as that. It's a criminal offense to harass anybody. Any loan apps, and another thing is, any loan apps that will be having daily overdue interest, so that they will turn 100,000 naira to 300,000 naira. If you pay that money, you are a mumu person. Under CBN law, CBN states that penal rate is 1% per month. So give or take, even if they had 3% or 4%, it's understandable. So why will you be jihading 1% every day when the law says you should have 1% penal rate? What kind of nonsense is that? In fact, this one is even worse. Any loan app that defames you and you pay back, you are a stupid person. I'm not going to say I'm sorry about that. They defame you and you still pay them. You are a stupid person. It's as good as that. So any CBN license loan app that will not allow you, I'm referring to CBN license now, not even all these loan sharks. I'm not even interested in loan sharks. CBN license that will not allow you to, of course, that will not allow you to do restructuring. You'll be mumu if you don't, if you are begging them, because they are violating your fundamental rights. Of course, they will decline, but you need to make sure that you enforce them to do the right thing. Do you think they will allow you to do restructuring? You need to restructure your loan. You can definitely restructure your loan. That is your power as a borrower. You can restructure your loan. If the loan is not convenient for you, you can say, you know what, this loan is not convenient. I lost my job and this happened. I want to restructure it. They don't bond them. Well, if they say no, tell them you're not paying again. They will come, you make sure they come to your terms, not that you will be begging them. There is no. So another thing, some will tell me that did you not sign the agreement, or agreement is an agreement? Where did you write it in the? Where did you see it in the court, in government policy, that agreement is an agreement? If you know what, if you have a friend and you borrow your friend money and you added extra interest, you can go to jail. Because you are violate, you cannot add any interest, except you are a money lending company. You cannot add interest on a loan given to your friend. You cannot say you sign an agreement with them. That agreement is void. The person can only return your money. So let's be wise. So there's no such thing like agreement is an agreement. There's no such thing like that. Your agreement must be subject to CBN policy, not just anyhow. But anybody cannot just come up and say agreement is an agreement, or did you sign an agreement? No, we have to subject that agreement on. It has to be under CBN policy. You can't change any agreement. It has to be subject. So anything that you do, there are many things that can void any agreement. These days, this criminal loan apps, they're now lending to students. So how do you want students to pay their money? How do you want them to pay? So that you can defraud them. We have 1,200, like 18 million Nigerians are borrowing from loan apps. So we need to be wise. Know your right as a borrower. Stop all this nonsense. Know your right as a borrower. Thank you.